Today I thought I would do a quick flip through of my bullet journal. I haven't been bullet journaling for very long. I think I started at the month of April. I've been following a few people on Instagram, and I've been wanting to do it for a while, but was just a little intimidated by such a blank notebook and all the perfect spreads and stuff that you see on Instagram. So I'm here to tell you that if you are curious about trying bullet journaling, just start. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you can make it whatever you want, and you can change it up as you go. If you find that something's not working for you, just go ahead and jump in and start. It is the best way to plan that I have found, and I absolutely love it. So I'll do a quick flip through. I am using a Luke Turn 1917 dotted grid notebook. I don't know if I pronounced that right. And I've customized it by adding just a gold sticker that I picked up through Stampin' Up. So we open it up, and the first page, I've just personalized it a little bit. I've added some stamping. You'll see that I stamp a lot. I'm a stamper, so I incorporate a lot of stamping in my bullet journal, but you do not have to do that. You make it however you want. You can, if you like to doodle or sketch, you could sketch. You can even just have it plain. You can do whatever you want. That's what's so great about it. So I've added a stamp in here that I've colored in with some pencil crayons. I've added a project or a card that I received in a planner kit just with some washi tape, and then it's got my legend on the side there. And then we've got the index, which is pretty straightforward. And then we've got my year at a glance. So this is a combination of stamping and handwriting. So I used the dated stamp that was available through Stampin' Up. It's retired now. And then just hand wrote all the months in. And I will reference all the stamp sets that I've used and that you see in this video in the bottom of the blog post, or the YouTube video. Here, this is my birthday list, and I love the colors and how I incorporated the stamping and the numbers or the dates in coordinating colors. However, I'm not a fan of the way the spread looks. There's a couple things. I would prefer it to be consistent, and I don't like how June goes here and here. Initially, I was going to separate it in even spots like this, and then I really wanted to try to condense it into 2 pages. Well, I didn't have enough room. It went to 3 pages. So now I wish I had separated it evenly and maybe done 4 months per page and then had 3 pages. But that's something to do for next time, so that's fine. It serves its purpose now, and I'm okay with that. This is something that I saw on Instagram. So this is where if I come across a book that I think I would like to read, I jot it down, and then once it's read, I color it in. This is my future log. So if you're not super familiar with bullet journaling, basically you're working in the current month, the current week, and sometimes, depending on how you do it, the current day. So it's hard to plan in future months. So you need a place to jot down appointments and things that are due in future months. So that's what the future log is. And I found that my months fill up so quickly. The way I have it set up, there's not enough space. For the month of June, I had a large post-it note stuck on here that was full because I had run out of space here. So when I start my next bullet journal, I will have at least half a page per month. It seems a bit excessive, but we have a lot going on, and especially because this is primarily for my business, but I do document some our family stuff in here as well. So I do need a lot more space than that. The other thing is I left a blank page because I wasn't sure how long that I would be in this bullet journal. I plan on using it until the end. So I left this blank page in case I need to plan future or past January of 2018. This spread I'm not going to share because that is business goals. Here, this is a collection that I did to document places that I've traveled to and places that I would like to go to. And I used some retired Stampin' Up stamps. Here, all the states that I had been to, I colored in, so not very many. I have lots left to visit in the States. And I broke it down from Canada, US, Europe, other places, and then places that I would like to go. This is my favorite spread. This, I used a large number set, and then used, Stampin' Up! Has some framelets that are in the shape of hot air balloons and clouds, so I used those just kind of as a stencil, traced them with some pencil crayons, and then jotted down, these are just different projects that I want to do over the course of the year, so I jotted them down, and as they're completed, then I'll color them in. And then on this side, I've broken it down. So here, if you see Finish Jordan's school album, I've got the school album written here, and then these are more achievable tasks. So I broke it down, and this does need to be updated. I've got a few things that I could cross off on here, so I need to go back and do that. But it just looks so pretty, and when it's pretty, I find I go back and use it, and I reference it a little bit more. And then we go into my first monthly spread. So I've included just the basics, and then I've got a quote here, priorities, it's all color coded. My first weekly spread. Now this, I was following Boho Berry, and I love her style. I love how she had it set up. So in the beginning, I wasn't sure what I was gonna do and how it was gonna work for me. So I decided to just mimic hers, and you'll see how it changes as I flip through. So I've got like a little activity log there, my date, day of the week, my date, the weather, and then my task list. And I included also menu planning on there as well. So that's that. Here, again, just another pretty spread. I stamped focus with a large alphabet set, and then did all these circles. And these are just kind of things that I want to work on over the course of 2017. So things like film more videos, be a little more interactive on Facebook, just different things like that. And then I send, because I'm a stamper, I send a lot of hand-stamped cards. So these are the cards that I sent out in a 2-month period. So anytime I need to make a card, I would jot it down on here, and then once it was sent, then I would just kind of put an X on it. And again here, so this looks very similar to the last week, except I omitted the weather, because I found that I didn't look every day at what the temperature was going to be. I didn't really care. I don't need to reference that. And then my May spread, another weekly. And then in May, I also added a spending log. So I document the date, where it was where the money was spent, what it was for, whether it was cash or credit card, and then the amount. And then I also documented if it was a business expense. So here you can see that it's altered a little bit from my last weekly spread. I eliminated the activity log, because I found, again, it wasn't something that I necessarily needed. It was an extra step. I really want this to be something that is productive, that it's maintainable, and that I enjoy doing. I didn't want to feel obligated to do it. So the more simple it is, the more likely I am to keep it up. All right, so then the other thing that I started doing at this point as well is I didn't like only working a day at a time. So I set up either Sunday evening or Monday morning, I set up my week at a glance. So I jot down these lines to separate my days, and then put in the days of the week, and then fill in the appointments and the tasks that I know need to be accomplished each day. Here is a daily task log. So I got this idea from Boho Berry as well. There's things that I do consistently week after week after week. So I kind of made a list of those things, and then tried to slot them in different days of the week so that I could consistently do those things each day. And that's still a work in progress. I'm still working on that. These are some notes that I took from a class I did on writing newsletters. So I had actually taken the notes for the class in another notebook, and then there were a few things that I knew I would reference over and over and over, so I jotted those in here so that they would be handy, so I wouldn't have to go looking through the other notebook. Here, just another weekly spread. You can see that I switch up the stamps and the colors all the time. It's basically I'll use whatever's on my desk, or whatever I feel like stamping in whatever colors. The other thing that I changed was I changed how I did Saturday and Sunday. Before I would have Saturday here and Sunday here. I prefer it down like this. Let's see, this is another spread that I'm excited to see how it ends up looking. So we are planning a trip to Thailand, so I stamped that using a large alphabet set down the center, and then did these speech bubbles. So one is things to buy before we leave, things to do before we leave, things to see while we're there, maybe food to try, things to keep in mind, like there's things like you're not supposed to eat off your fork, just different little things like that that I want to add in as well. And it'll be a great little reference tool while we're gone, and I can check things off as we accomplish them as well. Another weekly spread, and another one. Here you can see that I started adding the boxes around. I really like that. It makes the day stand out a little bit more, so I'll continue doing that as well. And then my June monthly, my spending log for June. Another weekly spread. Lots of different stamps. I try to use different stamps all the time, although some you can see repeated. These scissors I seem to really, really like. And then here I've got my mileage that I record, and then these are newsletter and blog ideas. And then this is the current week. And the other thing that I started doing is when I do my weekly, I will actually do 2 weeks at a time. Just because I incorporate a fair bit of stamping, I just find it's faster to do 2 weeks. It seems a bit more productive to do 2 weeks at a time rather than just do it on a weekly basis. So that's one thing that I've done. And I think that's it. So if you're thinking about starting a bullet journal, I really encourage you to just start. Like I said, if there's something that you don't like, you can switch it up. You can cover it over. You can do multiple things. There are lots of mistakes throughout. That roll-on cover-up tape is amazing, and you can't see it unless you look closely, so there's lots of that spread through mine. But what I found really helped me to just start was I started with a little pen and ink test page at the back. Once I broke in the notebook, it was easy to get started. So I started at the back of the book and was just testing out different inks and different pens just to see if they bled through or how they would look on the back of the paper. So I encourage you, start with that. If it's a little intimidating, start with that, and then you will feel a little bit more confident starting in because you've got something in your notebook. All right? Thanks for watching.